You walk into your manager's office on a Friday afternoon, and something about the room already feels different. The air is quiet, almost too quiet. You sit down, trying to act calm, but your hands are slightly sweaty, your heart beating just a little faster than normal. You've been waiting for this moment all week, maybe all year, because you know what this is. It's your performance review. It's your chance. You've worked harder than anyone on your team. You stayed late when others logged off. You fixed problems nobody else could solve. You carried projects that should have failed. And deep down, you believe this is where it finally pays off. Your manager smiles, looks at the paper, then looks back at you. You did great this year. We're giving you a 3% raise. And for a second, everything just, you nod. Of course you nod. You say thank you. You smile. You shake hands. You walk out like a professional. But the moment you sit back down at your desk, staring at your screen, something doesn't feel right. Not wrong exactly, just off, like you expected something to change, but nothing actually did. You open your banking app. Same numbers. Same stress. Same quiet pressure sitting in your chest. And then the thought hits you. Wait, I got a raise. So why do I still feel broke? Actually, you didn't get a raise. You got a pay cut. And the worst part is, you didn't even notice it happen. Because here's the truth nobody explains to you in corporate America. A 3% raise sounds like progress until you compare it to reality. And right now, reality is expensive. Rent is up. Groceries are up, gas is up, insurance is up. Everything in your life is getting more expensive, faster than your paycheck is growing. Inflation isn't 3%, it's 6%, 7%, sometimes even higher depending on which state you live in. So while your salary is going up by 3%, your life is getting 7% more expensive, which means you're not moving forward. You're falling behind, slowly, quietly, invisibly, every single year. So you're telling me I'm working harder just to afford less? Exactly. And that's why it feels like something is wrong, because something is. But here's where the trap gets dangerous, because your company doesn't explain it like this. They don't say, hey, we're actually paying you less this year. No, they call it a raise. They frame it like a reward. They make you feel like you're progressing, and most people accept it because we've been trained to. Work hard, be loyal, stay consistent, and eventually you'll get ahead. And in the beginning, it actually feels true. Your first few years, your raises feel meaningful. You move up, you grow, you feel momentum. But then something changes. Around year 3, maybe year 4, the raises keep coming, but your life stops improving. You're still checking your bank account before buying groceries, still thinking twice before making plans, still wondering why you feel stuck, even though you're doing everything right. Okay, but if I'm doing everything right, why am I falling behind? Because this was never about your performance. It's about the system. Inside every company, there's a structure you don't see, a hidden system that quietly controls how much you get paid. It's called a compensation band. Every role has one. There's a minimum, a midpoint, and a maximum. And once your salary gets close to that maximum, something very important happens. It slows down, not because you stopped improving, not because you're not valuable, but because the system itself has limits. Wait, so there's a cap? Yes. And the worst part is, nobody tells you when you hit it. There's no meeting, no warning, no conversation where your manager says, hey, you've reached the top of your pay band. It just happens quietly, one small raise at a time. And while your salary is stuck inside that system, the real world keeps moving. New hires come in making more than you. Competitors offer higher salaries. The market value of your role increases, but your paycheck doesn't keep up. And that gap, that difference between what you earn and what you're actually worth, that's called the loyalty penalty. It's the price you pay for staying. Wait. So, I'm being underpaid just because I stayed? Not because you stayed, because the system is designed that way. Let's make this real with the numbers. Let's say you're making $100,000 a year. You get a 3% raise. That's $3,000. Sounds good on paper, right? But if inflation is 7%, your cost of living just went up by $7,000. So, in reality, you didn't gain $3,000. You lost $4,000 in purchasing power this year alone. Now stretch that over 5 years, 10 years. That's tens of thousands of dollars quietly disappearing from your life. Not in one big moment, but in small, invisible pieces. This is where it starts affecting your life in ways you don't even realize. You get a promotion, you upgrade your apartment, maybe you finance a better car.
This is what we call lifestyle creep. Your lifestyle grows just enough to match your income, but then your income stops keeping up, and suddenly you're stuck. You can't leave your job because your expenses depend on it. You can't take risks because you need that paycheck. And your company knows that. They know you have bills. They know you're comfortable, but not free. And the more dependent you become, the less they feel they need to pay you. So what am I supposed to do? Just quit? No, that's what most people think. But that's not the real solution. The real solution is understanding the game. Because right now, your company has something you don't. They know your salary band. They know your ceiling. They know what the market is paying. And you don't. That gap in information is where all the power is. The moment you close that gap, everything changes. First, you find your real market value. Not what you think, not what your company tells you. The real number. You look at job postings on LinkedIn, you talk to recruiters, you check sites like Levels.fyi or Glassdoor. You figure out what someone with your experience is actually getting paid today. Not 2 years ago, today. Second, you document your value. Every project, every result, every impact. You turn your work into proof. Because in the real world, data wins, not effort. Effort is what you do. Results are what they pay for. Third, you change the conversation. You don't walk into your manager's office asking for a raise based on hard work. You walk in showing them a gap between what you're paid and what the market says you're worth. And when that gap becomes clear, the system starts to break. Think about the psychological toll of the standard 3%. It's designed to keep you in a state of just enough. Just enough to keep you from looking for a new job. Just enough to keep you from complaining. But never enough to build real wealth. Real wealth in America isn't built on a 3% annual increase. It's built on leaps. It's built on knowing when the system is no longer serving you. Look at the people who are actually getting ahead. Are they the ones who stayed at the same desk for 15 years waiting for their turn? Usually, no. The biggest salary jumps in the US market happen when people move. Why? Because a new company isn't bound by your old pay band. They are paying for a solution to a problem they have right now. They are paying market rate. They are paying for the new higher premium. It's an uncomfortable truth, but the person sitting next to you who just got hired might be making 20% more than you for the exact same job. That's the loyalty penalty in action. You have to realize that your company is a business. Their goal is to minimize costs and maximize output. Your salary is a cost. If they can keep you happy with 3%, they will. It's not because they're evil, it's because it's logical. You have to be just as logical about your own life. You are a business of one. Your labor is your product. If you were selling a product and the cost of making that product went up by 10%, but you only raised your price by 3%, your business would eventually fail. That's exactly what's happening to your personal finances. You are the business that is slowly going under because you're not adjusting your prices to the market. Break the cycle. Start looking at your career as a series of negotiations rather than a series of permissions. You don't need permission to be wealthy. You don't need permission to be paid what you're worth. You need information, you need leverage, and you need the courage to walk away if the deal is no longer fair. Because here's the truth they hope you never realize. Your salary isn't fixed. It's negotiated. Every year. And the only thing that determines the outcome is what you know when you sit down at that table. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That 3% raise, it's not growth, it's control. It's just enough to keep you satisfied, but not enough to set you free. And the longer you accept it, the more it costs you. This is educational, not financial advice, but your future depends on understanding this. Because the most dangerous financial trap isn't the one that takes everything at once. It's the one that slowly convinces you that you're doing fine while you're quietly falling behind. And breaking that trap starts with one simple realization. You're not underperforming, you're underpaid. And that changes everything. Industry. Who is hiring? What skills are they looking for? If you were to be replaced tomorrow, what would it cost the company to find someone as good as you? Often, the cost of recruiting, onboarding, and training a new person is 50% to 100% of that person's annual salary. That is your hidden leverage. The company would rather pay you an extra $10,000 than spend $50,000 replacing you. But they won't offer it if they think you'll take $3,000. You have to be prepared to show them the math. You have to be prepared to show them that you know the game. Because once you show them you know how the system works, they can't use the system against you anymore. You become the one in control. You become the one who decides what your time is worth. And that, more than any 3% raise, is where your freedom begins. Stop being a victim of the standard raise. Start being the CEO of your own career. The market is waiting, and it's paying a lot more than 3%. Go get it. And that, more than any 3% raise, is where your freedom begins. Stop being a victim of the standard raise. Start being the CEO of your own career. The market is waiting, and it's paying a lot more than 3%. Go get it. But before you go, I want to hear from you. Have you ever sat in that office, felt that off feeling after a performance review, and realized the math just didn't add up? Drop a comment below and share your story. We're building a community here of people who are tired of falling behind and ready to take control. If this video opened your eyes or gave you that aha moment you've been looking for, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that this is a conversation that needs to happen. And if you want to master the hidden rules of money, career leverage, and building real wealth in today's economy, make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. We're deep diving into the strategies that the 1% use and the 99% never hear about. Don't just work for your money. Make your money and your career work for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.